Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I already posted one video today with the same outfit. It may not be today that I post the second one. It may be today. We don't know. But editing 2 videos, if this gets posted tomorrow, that's fine. Whatever. So I wanted to post another video talking about things that I did not expect from hormone replacement therapy or HRT. So this is something that I feel like could be useful for newcomers and for people who generally just, have never done anything like this, like myself. And for me, I started hormone therapy, and after 2 weeks, I freaked out and just completely stopped because I kind of didn't expect so many changes to come so fast. And I feel like it's useful for people who might be just beginning or, maybe even starting their transition and just need to know a few extra things to prepare for, because I didn't have that. So the first thing is hair regrowth. I've done a whole video on this, so if you haven't seen it, feel free to click down here and watch. So initially, I was very, skeptical on transitioning and very scared about it because I was like, oh, well, my hairline is receding, and like all these things. And I was super terrified of the idea that I would just be like a bald girl or something. And I had no idea that once you transition, not only does your hairline tend to not further recede, it also can possibly grow back. It's not super common, but in my case, I can say that mine has grown back a lot more than I expected. I used to have kind of like the little V shape here, and it basically has filled in almost fully to that V. And like I said, I did a whole video on that, and I showed pictures of like my regrowth and stuff. It's still coming in, but it's it's come so far in less than 2 years. So the next thing is body hair. It changes in some ways, but probably not the way that you want it to change. I personally no longer get dark hairs on my body, but I still continue to get hair. I sometimes have it on my chest, I sometimes have it on my stomach. My facial hair, is still all blonde, but it still grows, and you can do things about that, like electrolysis or laser or whatever, to completely remove that. But when you start hormones, you think, oh, well, my body hair is just going to stop growing. And that's not the case, unfortunately. It does lessen, and it goes from dark to light. It turns into like these little, I guess, vellus hairs or whatever, where they're kind of clear, but it doesn't permanently go away, which is frustrating. And another thing is your genitals will tend to shrink over prolonged periods of time on hormones. So, if you're on hormones for multiple years like me, things tend to get smaller and stop working quite the way you remember them to work. It doesn't bother me because I'm dysphoric about my bottom half anyway, so I can personally do without the random erections and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I'm not fond of the shrinking, and it has kind of inconvenienced my tucking and stuff like that. On that note, so another thing is tucking. I don't think that I really thought about how often you have to tuck. If that's a dysphoria thing for you, if you want to walk around with a bulge, by all means, you do you. But for me, like, I would rather completely pass as a cis woman. I know I'll never be a cis woman, but to society, I want them to not think that I am, that I was previously a boy, if that makes any sense. So for me, tucking is a necessity. And, like going out swimming, it requires some very thorough tucking. Anywhere just going to like the grocery store or something, like anywhere you go, every time you have to throw it back. You have to like wear tight underwear. It's very uncomfortable, but you kind of get used to it after a while. It becomes a normal thing. But I wasn't aware of how stressful that would be, and it only makes me more and more excited for my bottom surgery. So another thing is passing. I didn't expect to pass as I do. I think generally anybody that's on hormones for a prolonged amount of time tends to just start to pass, whether you think that you ever will or not. You know, like people will see you as you. Some people opt in for surgery, some don't. I've only ever had my breasts done, but you know, it's something that I didn't expect. I didn't expect to be treated as a woman in society because I didn't care at that point. When I began transitioning, I told myself, you know, like it's about my happiness over everything else. It's over passing. It's over whatever. As long as I'm happy and I feel comfortable and love myself, that's the most important thing. And passing just came along with that. And I think generally it does for everybody over time. For me, it took about 2 years, so, you know, be patient. Love yourself. That's number one. So, the dysphoria that comes with presenting full-time. I, you know, wasn't super dysphoric as a boy. I wasn't constantly like, oh, I should look like a girl in public, but I was always uncomfortable. And now, presenting female all the time, you kind of are in your head a little bit often, too much, and like going to the store or something, if somebody's staring at you, maybe just because you're attractive or whatever, tends to be, oftentimes you think it's because they're clocking you, and majority, that's not the case. They don't care. They don't look at you like that. You know, trans people, I feel like, are so uncommon and a, you know, minority that it's just not common. People don't expect it. They don't go out, you know, and look for trans people. And so what if they do? So what if they see you as a trans person? Maybe they still think you're attractive. So, but it definitely takes some getting used to, and it kind of can cause a little dysphoria and a little discomfort. For me, it definitely has overwhelmed me at times. So here's the last one, and also probably the most frustrating. The male gaze. I had no clue what women go through in society. I've lived as a male, and I don't remember being this way. I guess because I was interested in other males. When I saw somebody that I found attractive in public, I didn't like gawk at them or anything like that, you know. But straight men, no offense to anybody that's straight out there, they tend to just, they can't help themselves. They just look. I don't think they notice they do it, and if they do, it's a primal instinct and it's perfectly fine. But like at the same time, like, holy heck, like it makes me so uncomfortable. There's been multiple times where I'm just driving down the road and like I look over and like they make eye contact with me. They do the little head nod thing and I'm like, oh no. And they follow me. I've been followed for a few miles before by, you know, a group of men in a truck. Made me very uncomfortable. I've had multiple men like speed up just to like see me, and it gets old really fast, and I, you know, feel bad for any of the women that go through that out there on a daily basis. I don't consider myself an attractive woman, but I can only imagine what attractive women go through. It's a lot. It definitely takes some getting used to. So on that note, this is all for this video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you click that bell to get notifications. I'm going to start, you know, posting once or twice a week, and also doing a live stream on Tuesdays, probably around 4:30. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.